5. Yosef says to his brothers, don't be upset. Don't be sad. Don't let it be upset in your eyes. Because you sold me to hear. God sent me before you to be a supporter, for sustenance. Rashi says, God sent me here. It's all part of God's plan to sustain you. Because there were these 2 years. No, there's hunger in the land. There'll be another 5 years. And God sent me before you. Rashi says, God sent me before you to be a survival in the land, and to deliver you for a great deliverance. You know what you call the Holocaust survivors? They have this name. They're called She'erit HaPleitah. And you see those 2 words in here. God sent me before you to be a She'erit, and the Pleitah is the deliverance. So the remnants of those who are delivered, the Holocaust survivors, are called the She'erit HaPleitah. My grandmother we never ever heard her use that term, a Holocaust survivor, about herself, because we always reserved it for those who were in the camps. Not to say her struggle was very great. I mean, they walked through the forest, and people they were with were being killed or being bombed by the German planes going at night, and they had a very, very difficult journey. But you can't compare that journey to somebody who is in the camps. It's just incomparable. So anyway, not that we're comparing. You're not the ones who sent me here. God sent me. He made me an av to Pharaoh. What's an av mean? So usually av means a father, but Rashi says here it means l'chaver u'lepatron, as a colleague and as a patron. Patron is a patron. Hey, come on in, guys. Come on in. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Come on in. All right. How are we doing? No, we're doing the Chumash. Yeah, right here. Isaac, there's one.
Yeah, I got one to show my brother.
Oh, Benji?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Benji. Come right here. There's a seat right here. Okay. Both of you could sit right there. We're doing chapter 45, verse 5. Now, actually, we're past verse 5.
It's egotistical to call himself father to Pharaoh.
Well, here what Rashi's saying is, we're chapter 45, verse 8, Isaac. No, that's the Gemara. That's the Gemara. That's the Gemara, Isaac. That's Isaac. No, you'll never lose a touch. The word Av, Rashi's saying the word Av does not mean father, it means like an advisor.
Sure.
So that's what?
That's obviously the Pshat.
Why do you say it's obviously not the Pshat? He's obviously
and
yeah.
In every other context so far has been father.
No, I think that's what Rashi is saying, is that the pshat of the word Av clearly doesn't make sense to say that Av here is father. It obviously is not Pharaoh's father. It means an advisor. I mean, there's no.
Doesn't Av imply that you're like greater than or above?
So does Patron, actually.
Yeah.
I think if you look in the Concordancia, I have recollections in my mind of other places in the Tanakh where Av means advisor, and so I don't think it's a what? Yeah, it could be meant, and also we don't even know how old that Pharaoh is at this point. Pharaoh could have been like a 11-year-old kid. He could have been a little boy and he got ascended to the role. He never really demonstrates too much brilliance.
There's a psak that he outlived Yosef.
There's a midrash that says it was this Pharaoh in Egypt, the same Pharaoh who made himself like he doesn't know, as Akiva says, a very good point. A very good point. So, all right, so now, verse 8, this is a controversial verse. We just read that. So he made me an av to Pharaoh, Adon Chobeso, a master over his household, Moshe B'Kol Eretz Mitzrayim. But to go to your point, Dan, I think he is actually, I think you're correct that Yosef seems to be maybe making the mistake that a lot of advisors to the person in charge sometimes make. They think because the person hears their advice, they think they're actually the ones in charge. I know Judy's boss he lived on, and that was his phrase. He did a lot of good work, or maybe he didn't. I have no idea if people like his work, but he said that one phrase, and everybody remembers him for that. Remember Judy Davis of blessed memory? She worked for Haig, and Haig said, "I'm in charge here." That's like what Yosef is saying. And one time I said it to Judy. She said, "That's all anybody ever says about him." And she's probably right, because I have no idea, about his accomplishments, good or bad, but he said one phrase that everybody was like ridiculing, because it's probably not what he meant, and it got taken out of context. And I was reading about this also, where Ricky Henderson died this past week. And Ricky Henderson, when he broke some record, I forgot which one, he said, "I'm the greatest of all time," because he broke that record. I think it might have been some stolen base record. And then I was reading his Wikipedia page. He said, "I'll regret that I said that for the rest of my life. That's not what I meant to say." It's not what he meant to say. He said it was taken out of context. And it's almost like what Yosef, okay, we have to make 1,001 distinctions. Like what Yosef is saying here. He says, Pharaoh made me the master of his household and the ruler over all of Egypt. He's not the ruler over all of Egypt. He's almost inflating himself here. Pharaoh is the ruler. And in case we forget it, look what's going to happen. There even before Yosef dies and Pharaoh enslaves the Jews, we see hints to the fact while Yosef was alive that he was not in charge. He has to hide the way his brothers go before Pharaoh. He has to ask permission to go bury his father. So I think the text is having a misspeak here. And then he says, Maru va'aru avi. All of a sudden, we're in a rush here, by the way, with Yosef. That's another thing that bothers me. All of a sudden, he says, "Quickly go and run up to my father." Up until now, what happened to Benji? Benji, get over here. What are you doing over there? Benji, no.
Right, how many gonna?
No, we don't have time. Come right here. So he says, Maru va'aru, here, take this, take my phone. Says, "Quickly go up to my father." All this time he was delaying the matter, and now he's all of a sudden in a rush. He says, "Go up to my father." But that's what he says. Ma'aru va'aru avi. Quickly go up to my father and tell him the story. Hold on, I gotta get back to my own place here. And say to him, Kormar bencha Yosef. This is what your son Joseph said. Samani Elokim la'adon l'chol Mitzrayim. God has made me a master over all of Egypt. Again, yeah. And also, Redailai, come down to me, al tamod. Do not stay. Now, this is a little harsh way to speak to your father. Anybody who tries to tell their father to go like this, he didn't. Where's the word nah? Where's the word please? Here, please, can you come down? He's like giving him an order here. Rashi says, Va'alu avi. Why is he saying go up to my father? Because the land of Israel is higher than all the other lands. Rashi says, the next verse. V'yashavta be'eretz Goshen. You'll dwell in the land of Goshen. V'yisek harov alai. You'll be close to me. Atov v'nechu v'nei v'nechu. You and your children and your grandchildren. V'tzoncha v'karcha v'kol asher lach. Your sheep and your cattle and everything that belongs to you. Hey, how we doing? Oh, wow, we got the baby making an arrival. The baby has made, what a Hanukkah miracle. Okay. What do we call him, Gina? Erez. Solid name. Solid. We like that name, right?
Long Island. Yeah.
Erez, you're the future. All right. So now the pasuk says, Yosef says to his father, "Come down, stay in the land of Goshen. I'll sustain you there. Ki od chamesh shanim, another 5 years." Hey, Adam, Michael. I'm very glad you didn't try showing up without errors, Adam. So he says, I'll sustain you there. Ki od chamesh shanim. For another 5 years, there'll be a famine in the land. What does the word tivaresh mean? Maybe Dilma tit maskein, lashon morish umashir. Maybe you'll be like, I guess, diluted or impoverished in the land if you remain there. V'hinei einechem ro'ot. Now your eyes sees, v'hinei achi Binyamin, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin. Ki pi hamedaber alechem. My mouth is speaking to you. Rashi says, you see my honor, and that I'm your brother. What does it mean? That I'm circumcised like you. And also that he's speaking to them in Hebrew. He says, I'm speaking the same language and I'm circumcised. And also the eyes of my brother Benjamin. Why does he mention Benjamin here? So Rashi says, hey, Yoav. Rashi says, he combines all of them together to say that just like I have no hatred about Benjamin, my brother, because he was not there with the sale, so too I have no hatred against you. You should say to my father, as kol kvodim Mitzrayim, tell my father about how great I'm doing. And everything you see, and quickly go back and bring down my father here. Why does he have to bring his father there? It's always bothered me. Why does Jacob have to go down there?
Just see it. Just see it. He's not gonna believe that his son is so great. He's gotta come along.
But why does it matter? He could just give him the food.
Because Joseph wants his place acknowledged.
So it's for Joseph, it's not for Jacob, right? That's the point. Yeah, David.
Could it be that the whole people had to go through the triumph for the future purposes, and his brothers and their families would not have all done so, leaving the father alone at home?
I mean, to save everyone, they all needed to come, and they would only come if the father went.
That's a nicer way than one way.
Well, to say, well, but he could have sent them with enough food for all of them, so, but for the purpose of
For the ongoing
the
support.
Israelites ending up in Egypt.
Well, so he wants the dreams to come true. And also it's because the famine is going to continue for another 5 years. It's not just a downturn in the market, it's a severe downturn. It's a real depression.
Is there, I mean, the firmest way to look at it would be, he knew the nevuah that everybody needed to come to the tribe.
That's what David said, yeah. Yeah, he wanted to make the prophecy come true. But he's not really speaking to his father here, even through his brothers, in the most sensitive manner.
No,
Rabbi, could he have maybe thought,
his success, because he repeats it 3 times, or he's kind of out of control, egomaniacal.
He's certainly bragging.
Well,
He's certainly bragging.
he's certainly bragging.
He said God did it. God put me in this position of greatness. God made me the greatest.
Look where I am.
Yeah. Rabbi Yosef, we cut you off. What were you trying to say?
just asking if maybe he thought that his father coming there will do the miracle that happened when he came.
That's what Ramban said, that he wanted the dreams to come true. That's why he didn't tell him right away.
No, I'm talking about the famine stopping.
Oh, the famine stopping. Okay, so maybe that's why he went to.
I'm saying that's a miracle that happened because Yaakov was there, right? He couldn't do it remote control.
Beautiful. Okay, Vayipol, very nice idea. Vayipol tzavare Binyamin achiv vayefk. And he falls on the neck of Benjamin, his brother, and he cries. Ubinyamin bachal tzavarav. And Benjamin cries on his necks. So he does it in, he says, Benjamin cries on his neck and he falls on the necks. So why is Benjamin crying on his neck? So Rashi says, he falls on the necks of Benjamin. So how many necks does Benjamin have? He only has one. So Rashi says, Benjamin cried on Joseph's neck. For Rashi says, he cries for the two temples. And in the future, we're going to be in the portion of Benjamin and we're going to be destroyed. And Benjamin cried on his neck in the singular because the Mishkan Shiloh, which was in the portion of Joseph, in the end was going to be destroyed. So, you follow this? By Benjamin, it says the necks in the plural. And by when Joseph cries on Benjamin, it says he cries in his neck in the singular. So he's saying that when Benjamin cries on Joseph's neck, it's in the singular. Well, and that's because he's crying for the destruction of the Mishkan, which was in Joseph's territory. But for when Yosef falls on Benjamin's neck, it says it in this plural because Benjamin had the two temples which are going to be destroyed. What's the idea here? That why when they see each other are they crying? Why are they crying about the temple which had not even been built? Why are they crying for the temple which had not even been built? So, I guess this will be the place to stop. I'll just give you my thought on it. And it's a message of Hanukkah. Also relates to Hanukkah. But it's also a message of life. It's a message of life, and the idea is, here they are in this moment of just unbelievable redemption. They've seen each other. They've been away for so many years. They have this moment where the two brothers are seeing each other again. And they're reminding each other through this prophetic vision that it's going to be a challenge, that there's going to be some dark moments ahead, that the temple will be destroyed. And they're seeing that at that moment of success, they're seeing they're going to have this tremendous sadness ahead of them. Also Hanukkah, we rededicated the temple, but that temple was destroyed. The temple was destroyed. So it was a temporary victory. So the idea is that in our moments of tremendous happiness, we have to remember, even on Hanukkah, that there will be loss in the future, and we have to have that perspective. And even in the darkest moments, we have to remember that there will be redemption, and we have to have that perspective. So that's one of the messages of Hanukkah as well. Even though it was just a temporary victory, we still celebrate it. We still appreciate that moment of redemption. I'm going to stop here and go upstairs to government. I want to say first, Pasha, I see you're here, and I was telling this